Hello, friends. This is your host Shakti, and welcome to our infotainment channel Chamburites. Today, we are going to have general discussion on psychological stress. We have set up a Zoom meeting with our fellow Chamburites to discuss the same. So, let's start with the discussion. Please do share your valuable experience with us. Do like and share our video, and don't forget to subscribe our channel.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this YouTube channel, Chemburites. And this is a initiative by us to bring in all the top brains from Chembur to one side and talk about the problems that we face here and the solutions that we can find for them. So over the next 3 weeks, we'll have a lot of guests here, all brainy people like the brainy people that have gathered today. So I am your host, Austin Coutinho, and my co-host is Shaktinath Raigaonkar, who's a
Thank you so much,
so
sir.
welcome to him also. Let me now introduce all my three guests. Um, uh, all of them, some of the finest brains in Chembur, I should say, some of the finest brains in Mumbai, and in their own fields, they are all great achievers. So let me start with Dr. Francisca Arana, who's a teacher. She has worked for 32 years and she is a committee member of the Junior Red Cross. She is a joint secretary of the Children's Welfare, SARC, Human Rights Commission, writer, author, teacher, trainer, guide to postgraduate, Dr. Arana. Our second guest is Dr. Kumar Swamy, alumnus of OLPS Chembur. He did his MDS from Government Dental College, Mumbai. He's a master of implantology, Asian board member of the International Academy of Periodontology. He has a modern dental clinic in Chembur. And when he's not doing anything, pulling out teeth, he does singing and follows cricket passionately. Welcome, Dr. Kumar. And finally, we have Avtar Singh Saini. He grew up in Chembur, did his BE from VJTI. Avtar Saini did his MS from University of Minnesota. At Intel, he developed the Pentium processor and he was vice president of Intel and then director South Asia of the company. He holds 7 patents uh, related to the microprocessor design. He left Intel in 2004 and now lives in Chembur. And when he's not doing anything else, he enjoys adventure trips to the Alps and to the Himalayas. He does trekking and he is an avid cyclist. He does around 350 kilometers of cycling per week, which is huge. So welcome all of you.
Thank you.
We'll start with the program. The program's name is Dealing with Stress in These Troubled Times. So let me start with Dr. Arana. Uh, this period, last 6, 7 months, has been a very trying period for kids. And you being an educationist, you must have faced this firsthand of the children's, the stress they faced, and the academics that they have lost over the years, over the 6, 7 months. How do you think they'll make up in the next maybe 6 months or 1 year or whatever? Will they be able to make up?
Okay. Thank you for asking me the question first.
Yeah, most
I'll be
welcome.
very blunt in what I say. Okay. We give
Yeah,
more importance to marks and academic scores. But we
yeah,
need to remember that marks are not important. The child has to make a mark in his life.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
far more important. So teachers are doing their best to teach the academic course and the syllabus. So actually the child isn't missing out much.
Okay.
And if we focus on quality and not on quantity,
Yeah.
the child is actually getting holistic education.
Okay.
The child will not miss an academic year or academic syllabus because the teaching is on. So the child actually doesn't miss anything.
Okay.
But the child has got hands-on practice, and in the long run, the child may remember this phase of his life as one of the most memorable phases where he has actually studied, got himself educated, and learned being at home and in complete freedom. So, according to me, the child is not lost his academic studies at all. As a teacher,
Okay, that's a very good way of looking at it, because we look at it as if they're losing out on studies. And this perspective of yours, which it's a very good way of looking at it. Yeah, then Shakti, you were going to ask. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I want to ask Dr. Francisca. Ma'am, kids have been
yeah.
at home for more than 6 months. How can parents manage their stress level without any recreation or visit to malls or theaters?
Okay. This actually is a very good question. Huh? So here the parents have to actually be smart enough to keep the kids very active. So you can have a common TV time. You can encourage children to watch cartoons, laughter-based channels and things like that. You can have indoor exercise, yoga, meditation, deep breathing. It's not very difficult. I'm not reading out from the book, but it actually can be done. You can also encourage children to sleep well, listen to good music, play soothing music at home, encourage reading habits. Because once a child takes a fantasy novel or a book, a thriller, the child is exported to a different land and the child is stress free. Plus, the child can develop its hobbies. Parents can encourage children, teach them cooking, various things. There's so many YouTube channels, encourage hobbies, keep a journal where they can write their experiences. That's a very good stress buster. Develop your hobby, painting, learning music, things like that.
Right.
So it's totally up to the parents to keep their children engrossed.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. That will be good advice for parents. Dr. Kumar, you've been through the grind. Okay, you got affected, then I went into isolation, and then you came back and you recovered. So how did you feel when you first got affected, and when you got out of it? How did you feel, and how did you manage your stress levels?
Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much, Austin, for having me over on this program. Thank you, Shakti.
Thank you, sir.
I'm a bit nervous and excited. Nervous because whenever we have a teacher on the panel, you need to be very careful. You need to cross your T's and dot your I's perfectly. I hope I will toe the line of my teachers at OLPS. And I'm excited because, having grown up in Chembur, you always want to be connected with people around. Some who have grown with you, like Avtar and Austin on this panel. Some whom you look up to, like your teachers and elders. And some you want to handhold, like the younger generation. So this particular interview is indeed special and the need of the hour. I really compliment Shakti and you, Austin, for doing
so
this.
much.
And I'm sure for the next few weeks, you're going to have exemplary people coming on your panel. Now, coming to your question, did I know? Should I have been expecting COVID? No. I think nobody wants to expect COVID, but the milieu today is such that you're always on tenterhooks. You feel that you're the next victim. In May, end of May actually, I was doing my clinic normally. Of course, post the lockdown in April and May, we were on literally skeletal services. There's no pun intended, no skeletons were there, but we were bare minimum. We were addressing emergencies and urgencies only.
Yeah.
Yes, hailing from the medical fraternity, we took all the care that was expected. However, lightning struck end of May, the last 2 days of May. I lost my sense of smell, I lost appetite, lost sleep. And then we were advised to go in for a CT of the chest, which of course showed pneumonic patches. And the diagnosis was made only on symptoms, mind you. The test was to follow 3 days later. And the first test was negative. Can you imagine? Symptoms are there and the test report says negative. So that even puts us more in a spot. But thankfully, the doctors knew what they were doing. They tackled the symptoms and I was there in the hospital for 10 days and I got discharged after 10 days. So your question is very relevant. The feeling of illness and fever was there which drove me to a diagnosis. And then the treatment happened. It was difficult because in May, there was no remdesivir as we have today. So obviously they had to look up other cupboards, pull out other injections. And one of them was tocilizumab, which is a very difficult injection to source. We were lucky we got that. I came out and during those 10 days, Austin, if I may use the phrase, it was a cognition time, a life-changing time. Because you are with yourself, you are with your self, and then you have all the time to introspect, to retrospect, and to chart out your future life the way you want to. So that helped me to, in a way, look within and hopefully become a better person. So that's how I would take that experience as, on a positive note, yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's a great experience and something that comes out of the horse's mouth. So you have already said how the clinic works on a skeleton staff and how it's doing, but how has it has it been affected now? Because a dentist does a contact job, right? He goes very close to the patient and handles the patient from very close. How do you take care that this doesn't happen regularly?
I'm glad you asked this question because on the dental fraternity side, I've been having regular webinars to instill confidence first amongst our own fraternity. We need to look at scientific evidence and we need to ensure that we all are protected optimally. And we also educate our patients optimally as to what they should expect once they visit us in our clinic. Having said that, unfortunately, the media, they went on to very, very brief notifications coming out of WHO to say that dentists can transmit COVID. And I want to negate that with a rooftop bugle and say that no, because evidence is weak to suggest that dental aerosols transmit COVID. It's the medical aerosols which transmit much more. However, we have to be cautious. We cannot take a cavalier approach and say that it can't happen. The dangerous thing is to live in denial. So the moment we live in denial, you don't know when you will get into a mishap. So I would say that it is safe. And today patients are coming back. And you all know, Austin, once a toothache strikes, then COVID or COVID or anything you may call it, not stop you from seeking attention. So
correct.
Back.
Yeah, thank you for your answer. Shakti, you'll talk to Avatar.
Yes, sir. Avatar, sir, good morning. Sir, I know you from a very long time, sir. And you're always occupied in outdoor sports activities. How do you feel doing nothing in such time?
No, quite the opposite. When COVID hit, within kind of quote unquote the rules, I wanted to. My way of dealing with stress was be as normal as I can be. So we used to cycle, we used to go out. From March 20th, when the lockdown started, everything stopped. So we moved into the indoors and I used my home gym. I still wanted to live as normal as I can. And that means I never had a very active social life. So it is like stay active, get your exercise, sleep well, eat well, and do your normal things. And don't let this thing get to you. Of course, we were quite familiar with what is going on. And take all the precautions. At home, we have a staff because my wife needs 24 hours care. And so we did all that. And then come June, when the lockdown got eased and we were allowed to go out again, right away we started. And from June 5th till now, I have ridden over 3,500 kilometers.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And every day I get up in the morning, I wake up at 5. I'm generally gone by 6 days a week, and go to Nariman Point, go to Juhu, this morning I was in Airoli. Just be as normal as you can. At the same time, take the precautions. We don't going to come close to people in the sense face to face, but when you're going at 25 kilometers per hour, I don't think the virus can really run that fast. I've tried to keep a positive attitude. I've tried to stay as normal in all times, and just not do wrong things like we not engage in restaurants and clothes and parties, anything like that. But at the same time, only way I know how to be stress free is to be normal. Anytime you let something get to you, it becomes. And I've been fortunate so far, and don't know how long it's going to be. Sooner or later, we might catch it, or maybe I have already caught it, and I don't know. I have no idea.
You don't know. If you are immune.
Because I meet lots of folks every day, but they are all bikers, and they are all. We just meet for a photo shoot, have a chai, and come home. And don't let this thing really become all encompassing. Don't want it to be running our lives. That's how I have approached it. I don't know whether it's right or wrong. It worked for me. It may work for some. But I know some folks are extremely paranoid about it. And that doesn't happen. That raises the stress level. At the same time, take all the precautions and live your life. Because this thing is here to stay. I can't see it ever leaving. We may have vaccines, we may build some more immunity. It might mutate and become less lethal. But it's going to be here. It's going to be here for forever now. How is it ever going to go away? Well, somebody will carry it, and it will keep transmitting. So we have to live with COVID. Let's figure out how.
Yes. And what about your shopping? Who does the shopping?
Well, shopping, the home staff goes. I also go, but just use the precautions. I find one of the things I find is the people behavior inside of stores is not optimal. People crisscrossing aisles, going back and forth and touching things, and so it's very important to be really alert inside those supermarkets. That's one place I do feel a little uncomfortable. But when it comes to the open markets and all, there is no issue.
If possible,
Correct.
you'll
That's
permit me,
that's
Shakti will permit me to sort of
Yes,
comment
sir.
on a point that Avtar just mentioned, about it's here to stay. I'm recalled of a line as kids when we used to have our small fights. You go or I go. Now, I can hear a conversation between the coronavirus and us. Who goes first? And the answer to that, like Avtar rightly mentioned, is we both have to coexist. And coexist,
exactly.
we respect each other's virulence and we respect others' image and position and stay
Very
firm.
true.
Exactly.
Don't
And
challenge each other.
people thinking that,
Don't
oh, I'm
challenge.
with it for 1 more month or 2 more months or 3 months. Like, all these things, when they come, they are there. SARS is there, dengue is there, all there. They're not going to go away. Well,
That's true.
maybe
That's true.
and become less lethal.
That's
So, Dr.
true.
Francisca,
Yeah.
there's a question I wanted to ask you. These teachers, most of them have their own families, and they have to look after their children. They have to look after the old people at home. But then they have to deal with online classes too. Now, how do these people, they do a creative job on online classes when they have so much other things to worry? Like normal people, they have other things to worry about, and then have to do online classes. How do teachers deal with this?
Okay. We have boys from OLPS in the group, and I'm a girl from St. Anthony's. So I
Ma'am,
think
we
somewhere
all,
our tuning is matched.
ma'am, we all four are from OLPS.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So St. Anthony is your neighbor anyway.
Yeah. Acha, you're
Okay.
from St. Anthony's.
Yes.
Okay.
It is
Okay.
said when we remember our teachers, when we remember our education, we actually don't remember the method the teacher used, but we remember the teachers. And I'm sure that is
Okay,
true
yeah.
for you and me too. So, yes, it is really a very trying time for teachers. Our stress levels are very high. And truthfully speaking, we have no privacy. Because when we have this online class, our home has become a public affair. Children can see our
Yeah.
homes. There is
Correct.
no privacy at all. It takes hours and hours to plan one video lesson. Because here it's not
Exactly.
like teaching in the classroom. In the classroom, we go prepared. We are the bosses there. We teach. But here we have to cope with online technology. So we are students ourselves. I'm 54.
Yeah.
And it's pretty difficult at this age to learn something new. And we have old traditional method of chalk and talk. The chalk and talk method has changed now to the method of technology. So first, we are coping with stress. We have to learn that, how to cope with stress, how to embrace technology, and then juggle between our housework and the school work. So very true, our family members are affected. The atmosphere at home is not very happy. Children feel neglected. They can't get hot meals because almost 12 to 14 hours a sincere teacher devotes to online teaching. Because maybe online teaching is only for an hour or 2 hours, but to prepare that lesson for that much time takes a lot of hard work. So it's very
Exactly.
difficult for teachers. Plus, cut in salaries. Plus, we are
Yeah.
spending money to get laptops and computers. Plus, smartphones, learning technology. It has been very trying times, but I'm very happy. They say when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. And we are tough
Absolutely.
nuts to crack. We are tough
Yeah.
nuts to crack. So we are going
Okay.
on, coping up.
Yeah.
We have pulled our socks. Life is easy now. It's come on
Yeah.
stream. The train is moving.
That's
It's interesting
good. That's
the
good.
amount of preparation you're saying goes
Yeah.
in.
Doc,
The quality
yeah,
of
Dr.
education.
Kumar. Yeah, Dr. Kumar. Now this has been going on for 6, 7 months, right? The stress levels are so much that some people can't deal with it. Some people have just gone out of the house and started their normal life just because they can't deal with their stress levels.
Very true.
Now, how do people deal with this? How do people deal with this? Because some people can deal with it, some can't. How does one deal with this?
What Dr. Francisca just mentioned, and if I were to go back in time, Austin and me lived so close to each other. His mother, the legendary Mrs. Coutinho, teacher from St. Anthony's, and she had 4 sons, including Austin, and she embraced many of his friends, which included me. And I'm alluding to the times, Shakti, we had Bombay Band. In Bombay Band,
Yes,
in those
yes.
days,
Bombay Band.
everything was shut. And when we knew that it was Bombay Band, early morning, I used to sneak into Austin's house. And I'm comparing that with today's times where in that, and believe me, those houses were not huge mansions, but
True.
the heart was so large that it made
Yeah,
up for the lack of space at home. And we spent the whole day where Auntie would take care, Shakti, of not only how we kept touch with the books, the quizzing, the cuisine and the cuisine together took care of us. And wonderful times. So were they stressed? Yes. Were they stressed a lot? No. What did we learn? We learned of being cohesive. And today, Austin, the cohesive nature is a positivity. And if people have to deal with it, yes,
Yeah.
there is a regulatory restriction of movement, so be it. We need to obey that. If we have to stay indoors as demanded by the government and the regulatory authorities, so be it. Like Dr. Francisco already told us how to keep ourselves busy at home with the kids. The same thing applies to us. Let's become kids. I would say, let us become kids. There's a child in us. So if we go back and become the child, there's enough things to do around. And of course, there are times as adults also, because the maids are not available to come in. So we may have to also chip in the
Work
household.
at home.
So the household chore, you become an adult, and then to entertain yourself, you become a kid. So most importantly, as head of the families, we need to set an example. If I were to cheat, if I were to go out without a mask, as an elder in the society, as an elder in the family, other people will only say, well, he's doing it, let us also do nothing wrong. So we need to set examples by living and walking the talk. So I think that way
Exactly.
we can certainly minimize on the stress.
Absolutely right, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very well said.
That's right. Yeah.
Sir,
Shakti, you got a
I want to
question for
ask.
Avatar?
Yes, sir, yes. I want to ask him. So the stress to visit markets or banks, anywhere you go out, sir. How do you manage it, sir?
If you're asking me, right, Shakti?
So to Avtar, sir. Avtar, sir.
Yeah.
No, I just
And I also want him to
Yes, sir. Even
I
Dr.
also
Kumar
want him
can
to
answer.
one question. Yeah, when are they resuming their treks again? When is he going next to the Himalayas?
that's a little bit of a problem. The issue is in Nepal, you really don't know. It's a little more flaky than our country. They can change rules, like you get in and then they close the door and come out.
Yeah. That's
So,
true.
so I'm not leaving the country yet. So, yeah, no.
Okay.
And also, it's a little bit of an issue because we use oximeter all the time when we go to the Himalayas. And during normal time, when we are closer to the top, we are running in the 80s, 85, 86. Sometimes we go as low as
Okay.
the levels are into 70. Now imagine in current times, if somebody gets COVID, it's over.
Yeah,
So uh,
that's true.
that's a little bit of an issue. Plus, the confines are very small. There are lots of people in those tea houses and lodges, and there is no proper distancing. They're all athletes and they're all healthy, but the hygiene level is not the greatest. So it's probably not prudent to go to any of these treks at this time. And
Exactly. Yeah.
going a little too far. But things which are more of going for walks, cycling, doing things in the open, and staying close to the sea level is the right thing to do. We have the best or the highest level of oxygen here. As we go
Yeah.
up, I really feel like those our troops which are in Ladakh, it's very tough at those 14,000, 15,000 feet. The oxygen level is very low. I've been to Ladakh twice. I have done the Marka Valley trek and Stoke Kangri. I went over the pass, but it's tough. It's very, very difficult, and I really salute those folks who are guarding the country there. It's a,
Yeah.
it's a shame
Yes,
for
exactly, sir.
Yeah. So then thank you very much, all of you, Dr. Francisca, Dr. Kumar, Avatar. Thank you so much for spending your time with us, sparing your time for us. And over the next few weeks, we'll have more people coming in, and maybe we'll call you back for some discussion. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a
Thank you
lot.
so much,
Anytime.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
It was such a
Thank you.
big
Thank
part
you.
of this
Thank
meeting.
you.
Bye.
Please do share your valuable experience with us. Do like and share our video, and don't forget to subscribe our channel.
Yeah.